What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Morning Brew podcast. If you're new here, I'm your host, Kayla. I interview cool people and post every other week. This week, I took on my first South by Southwest interview and sat down with Jessa Graves from the Portland-based band J.Graves. This interview was super fun to do, and I hope you enjoy. Ladies, gents, and everyone in between, today I'm in a super cute little coffee shop with indie alternative artist Jessa Graves. They came all the way from Portland to play South by Southwest this week and made some time to chat with me. Now, Jessa, we have only just met thanks to a lovely mutual friend. So I'm going to have you tell me more about yourself first.
Yep.
Where are you from, and did that place influence your music style at all?
Yeah, so I was born in San Diego, California. And then when I was like a baby, like 6 months old, my parents moved up to Washington. So I grew up in Southwest Washington. And Portland was like the big city that we would visit. We'd go there for shows or go there to hang out and be teenagers. And so when I was thinking about this question, I would say it was less about where I was and more so about the time that I was growing up with the music that influenced me. I will say that being in the Pacific Northwest and being so close to like Olympia and like where the Riot Girl movement started with Kathleen Hanna, other bands like Slater-Kinney, Team Dretch, like a lot of the folks who were at the heart of the Riot Girl movement, of course, that really influenced the music that they make. And then, of course, like early aughts, art rock and dance book artists, Yaz, Interpol, Metric, they just put out really great records at that time. And so I think more so the timing was what really affected the music that I listened to. I feel like I circumvented this like emo / like hardcore stuff that I saw a lot of the people my age getting into at that time. But like, I was really into Susie and the Banshees and Devo. I'm staying with my aunt and uncle right now in Liberty Hill. And my Uncle Mark pulled up a photograph of me and my first band. I think it was maybe 14 or 15. And I had a handmade Devo shirt on. So yeah, I was listening to some proto-punk, which of course then influenced the bands that I was listening to at the time as well. So who do you like draw influence from for your specific singing style? Is it the same or would that be different? I would say it's the same. Yeah, definitely. Yaz and Metric were two of my like mainstays at that time. Okay. And then Interpol for like my guitar playing. Okay. And Susie and the Banshees as well. Kathleen Hanna too. So yeah, I guess the answer is yes, all of those same bands. Okay. Yeah. So what songs do you currently have on repeat? Songs do I currently have on repeat? Man, I have learned over the last few years, I used to not be able to answer like, who's your favorite band? But I think that I have really leaned into Blonde Redhead. Okay. If you're unfamiliar, do you know who they are? I don't. Oh, you're in for a treat. Oh, I'm excited. So they've been a band for like 30 years. Like, wow, okay. They've been around a long time. And it's these twin brothers from Italy. And then I think her name is Kazuko, and I'm not sure, I know she's Japanese American, but she might actually have like lived in Japan and came to New York to study music, and that's where she met the twins. Okay, I'm intrigued already. So this band is just like, they're genre defining, genre bending, and just have continued to make incredible music throughout the years. So there's a huge discography that you can like do a deep dive into. I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Yeah. My favorite record from them is Misery is a Butterfly. Okay. It's like one of the most beautiful records I've ever heard. But they released a new record last year, and so I've listened, that like goes on in the van a lot. And then my kind of like default is Lower Dens radio. If you're unfamiliar with Lower Dens, do hop in there. Okay. 2 records to to check out and listen
I
to.
absolutely will.
Okay.
So I'm gonna find out later tonight, but I've heard from Ima that you have insanely high energy shows. What is your favorite part about performing live?
Oh, gosh. I think that I'm pretty tempered. Like, my presence on stage is almost completely opposite of my presence in person. Mm-hmm. Like, I've had people come up to me and be like, I was almost afraid to approach you, but like now that I'm speaking with you, like you're a really kind person, or like you're really accessible and like easy to talk to. So I'm a pretty big like gremlin, and I think it's really nice to be able to emote and express in a way that perhaps like as an AFAB person isn't necessarily seen as acceptable. Like you'll see, and it's not anything that's like it's not anything that's voluntary either. Right. Like really, it's involuntary.
So when you're singing, you're like getting into a different, like on accident, a different kind of personality. Are you the one that told Ima you were gonna go full gremlin mode?
Yes.
It just vaguely came to me when you said that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do a thing with my friend where we say, okay, it's gremlin hours time, and you could say anything you want without getting judged.
Oh, that's such a
I'm excited. Okay. I actually love that. So we've touched on this vaguely, but you are non-binary, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And I am bisexual. Why do you think that it's important for queer artists to maintain a presence?
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, all the time it is important, but even more so now with the current administration, our existence is an act of resistance. And I think it's really important for our community to see joy, to see people out and being visible. Representation can be a matter of life and death sometimes. And to be able to see someone who is like you out doing things, maybe even the thing that you want to be doing or need the inspiration or the push or the just encouragement to do. So I mean, I think it's time more so now than ever for us to be as visible as possible and to also be out like supporting each other.
It feels sometimes like we're trying to be like erased almost.
Oh God, yeah.
And you know, that's kind of a scary, not even kind of, that is a scary thing to think about.
Absolutely. Especially since, man, I feel like growing up, we had to be so quiet. And I mean, this is even for me, you know, growing up in the early aughts, I can't imagine what it was like for our like queer foreparents and all of the work that they did.
Yeah.
And now like we were at this point where I feel like we were able to be more present and visible, and we were able to be ourselves. And now there is this air of like trying to be like stifled again, like trying to be, people are trying to quiet us again. And
definitely.
We can't let it happen.
Important to be loud more
right.
than ever.
That's right.
Do you have a message for other queer individuals listening to this interview?
Yeah, I mean, just to echo, you know, the sentiment of the last question, it's like, you deserve to be here. You're not alone. You're loved and you're important. So
important, yeah.
So go get it. Like, don't stop. Keep going. And like your community is here for you and loves you.
Definitely. Yeah. Your existence matters.
Exactly.
So moving into some music-specific questions.
Yes.
One of your most popular songs is called Doctor. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that one is such a hit with your fans?
Oh man, so Doctor went viral in Mexico. So
really?
we have a pretty big Mexican fan base. We just got to do a show in Mexico City last fall, and we're going back again in June, which is
I bet
super
that's
cool.
going to go hard.
We get to play Mexico City Pride, which is really rad.
Wow, that's so cool.
So it went viral in Mexico, and I'm really glad that you asked me this question, because I think it's something that I've wondered before, because it is not what I like consider to be like the best or the most technical song I've ever written, or even that record. Like, I'm a much better musician and a like far better songwriter. Like, there's a lot that has changed in that time. I wrote that song when I was 19.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So in considering this question, I think that people can relate to the simplicity, to the intensity, to what I feel like could be interpreted and felt as like a pain, disappointment, which are all, like, of course, like universal emotions and experiences. Yeah. And I also think that this song is vague enough for people to assign their own meaning.
Okay.
Whereas nobody knows what this song is about, really. I didn't even know what the song was about
I was
until
just gonna
later.
Say, do you know what it's about?
Yeah, I do know what it's about, and I want people to be able to have the experience they want with the music
like
that they
interpret
make.
it the way that it relates to them.
Definitely. And if, I don't really know what the songs are about when I write them. Like, it's just not a part of my writing process. Like, I don't sit down and say, you know what, I'm going to write a song about today. It just, they start with a melody, or they start with a guitar line or a chord progression, and then they build from there. And then it's only after the fact that I'm like, oh, okay, I know what I was like trying to process or like go through, or what I was going through at that time, to have it manifest.
Gotcha. So how does it, like, I guess, change for you from when you're writing to when you have that epiphany of like, oh, that's what that might mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, and side note is that it can change for me too.
Oh, I totally believe that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just like other folks who listen to it are able to assign meaning. I'm able to assign many different meanings as well. But yeah, it's just this really interesting time travel almost, where I'm able to go back and feel and experience those things again. I almost started crying last night at my set.
Really?
Yeah, it happens, like, not like every time, but it can, especially when I feel more comfortable. I was like a little nervous last night. It was like, aside from, we had to like run around. But I was explaining to you that we had to like take gear uphill and then take gear back down. And then, so we like started the night off like really sweaty. And,
hectic,
like,
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, towards the end, once I like kind of settled into things, I just like sometimes get really overcome, and it's just so much of a feeling at once that I have to like express it in some ways, and sometimes that comes out as a really big yell, and sometimes it's like you'll likely see it in my face. So
sometimes you just need to scream, like,
oh, yeah.
Sometimes I get such intense anxiety, and it actually only feels better if I scream.
Yeah, but like, I mentioned this earlier, as AFAB folks, like, we're not supposed to make noise or be loud, and if we do, we're seen as this like problem, or as aggressive
disruption. We're causing a scene.
And that's just not the case. Like, we're allowed to be loud.
We've got stuff to say.
That's right.
Shut up.
And things to feel, and like this idea that being emotional, and this is audio, but I'm like using air quotes right now. Being sensitive, like, God, I hope I'm sensitive and not the opposite.
Yeah,
like,
I was just asking someone about this the other day. Like, when did, having empathy become an insult to use against somebody?
And if you think about what the opposite of being sensitive is, that's being insensitive, which sounds awful. I don't want to be insensitive.
I don't want to be insensitive to anybody.
Exactly.
Well, going kind of off of that, the cover art for your albums, Marathon and Fortress of Fun, are both really cool, but also have very different vibes, at least in my opinion.
Yep.
Are there different stories that you wanted to tell with each of those albums?
Yeah, definitely. So Marathon is the first record that I put out, the first full-length record. And the cover of it is a chest x-ray of mine. So that is my chest.
So metal.
I stole it, again, air quotes here, from my doctor. I told him I would bring it back, but I never brought it back. I actually have two different angles of it, because they had me go straight on and then they had me turn. So I have another one that I have kept in my back pocket for perhaps I don't know, like a marathon 20-year
that'd
release
be awesome.
or something.
That'd be so cool.
So I got really sick in 2017, which, oh man, since then I've put some pieces together and I think I know what it was now. They were never able to tell me what was going on. But yeah, I got really sick and I honestly thought that I was dying.
Oh my God.
And it really kicked me into gear with music and forced me to consider my priorities and if what I was doing with my life was aligned with those priorities, and they weren't at the time. And so it was a little bit of a wake-up call, and I eventually got better, but that was like okay, let's get things into gear.
Gotcha.
So that's why the cover of Marathon. I was also training for a marathon during that time. So got really sick, and in the beginning of 2018, I was like, I'm gonna quit smoking. I'm gonna start doing things that feel good for my body, and that included running. And so train for a half marathon, train for a 10K, and then a half, and then a full in 2018 as well. So, it was a period of time where I just learned a lot about myself, and I never would have considered myself to be a disciplined person. Mm-hmm. But I walked away from being like, oh no, I'm disciplined and I show up and I'm consistent. So that's Marathon. And then the cover of Fortress of Fun is me in the Pacific Ocean wearing chainmail.
Which is so cool.
I am really proud of, I can't take credit for the photo, but that experience and Fortress of Fun and the Choose Your Own Adventure experience. I'm incredibly proud of that work. I have a hard time internalizing success, and now I've come into it. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. It was really cool what we did, and I didn't do it alone, and definitely have great appreciation for the folks who were a part of it. It really did take a village. But yeah, we filmed 6 music videos over a weekend.
That's actually really impressive.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. And so that was for music. That is a screen grab. It is just a frame from the Go It Alone music video where I am out in the ocean, full chainmail in my jumpsuit with a big sword. So
that's the dream. Do you still have the chainmail?
It wasn't actually my chainmail.
Oh, okay.
But yes, the chainmail is still alive and well.
Perfect.
Yes.
Amazing.
I do, however, carry around a piece of chainmail with me.
Oh.
This chainmail.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, this was a part of the deluxe release that we did of Fortress of Fun. So folks who got the deluxe record got a chainmail keychain, a little vial of sand from the Oregon coast.
That's so cool.
And a ton of other goodies in there too.
That's so sick.
So the chainmail is always with me.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. I thought you were going to pull out a full sword for some reason, but that's
at home. Sword's at home, yeah.
That's so cool. Another song off of Marathon is called Chapters.
Yeah.
If your life were a book, what would this chapter be called?
Oh, I misread this question. So I have an answer for, it's really funny what our brains want to see, right? Instead of reading the actual thing. So I read the question as, what would you, I don't know, I have no idea, because it didn't even say what would you name your book?
Well, that too, but then what would also this chapter of your life be called?
What would this chapter be called?
If I had a book, mine would be called Love and Other Tragedies.
Oh, God. So my book, I think, would be called, oh, man, okay. Oh, no, I have it, okay, I have it for this chapter.
Okay.
My book, I think, would be called I Felt It, which is a lyric from the song Doctor. Mm-hmm. It's trying to keep things cohesive. Or An Offering.
Okay.
And then this particular chapter, so I don't know, I think I was in the grocery store and I might have read it somewhere, I might have heard it somewhere, it might have just been something that came to me, and I actually I take notes down on my phone, I'll get these little one-line things.
I do the same thing.
Okay, great. So I had this this line come to me, and I shared with you earlier that I got laid off, and I've been in this like weird kind of like mini identity crisis period, like because I was with my job for a really long time, and it was the thing that like afforded me the opportunity to get out and tour and still work. And so I had this line come to me, and it was, "I am no better," which is like a thing to think about. I have no more value than anyone else in this world. It's just like a really humbling thing to think about, and I think it's important to remain humble. And it was just really meaningful to me. So that's what I would name this chapter.
That's really cool. When I was in high school, I wrote this like one-liner that I was not thinking about at the time, but now that I think back on it, I'm like, that was actually kind of really deep.
Oh my God. I wrote some really profound things in high school. I was like,
17-year-old me like knew what was happening, but I wrote this thing down on a piece of paper that said, the world is a library and I'm just another book on the shelf. And that what you said kind of reminds me of that. Like we're all, equals just waiting to be picked up and explored, I feel like.
Yeah, I like that.
So you just dropped an EP fairly recently called Undercover Summer, and features some amazing covers such as Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode. I am wondering, where is your favorite place to enjoy silence?
Yeah. Something that I have come to learn about myself over probably the last 5 years is that I actually really value alone time.
Me too.
And I have valued alone time for all of my life, but it's just like coming into self-awareness and understanding your needs. So one place that I like to enjoy silence is waking up before everybody else.
I actually do the exact same thing. I like to do running too. I tell my mom all the time, my favorite time of day is like when the sun is kind of coming up, but before it crests over the horizon. So it's still a little bit dark. It's just dead silent on the streets, just me and the thoughts.
Yeah, it's a super beautiful time of morning. So while my schedule has not permitted me to do that more recently, one of my favorite things is, getting up and just being able to sit down with my thoughts and like journal or really just have the quiet. And I'll also say that there's a really special spot on the Washington coast called the Sou'wester, and it's an old lodge that's been there since like the 1800s. Ooh. They also have these like vintage travel trailers that you can rent.
That's so cool.
I love sitting and contemplating at the coast, like at the ocean. It's just like this tangible example of how insignificant we are. And I think that's another thing to remember.
I think you have a lot of great options for like places to enjoy silence on the Pacific Northwest, especially. Like I went to college in Oregon for 3 years.
Where did you go?
I went to University of Oregon.
Oh, cool.
It's in Eugene. It's a little south of
My
Portland.
partner's from Eugene.
Hell yeah. I miss Oregon so much. I'll be back next month to do the half marathon there.
Amazing.
But no, we used to have a house that my roommates and I would rent, and there's this little cemetery like right there called the Pioneer Cemetery, and it's just got like moss and the trees, and it's just quiet.
Yeah.
And I used to have to cross through there to get to campus every day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, this is where I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And graveyards too, like what an interesting example of mortality, which is like another thing to be, I don't know, I'm constantly reminded of mortality, and it's just an interesting thing to keep in the back of your head or be inspired by or otherwise.
So I like to end with some silly questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
And these ones I didn't send to you in advance.
Yeah.
So how do you organize playlists of your music, if at all? Do you do it by like mood or by artist?
Oh, so the J.Graves music or like of the music that I'm listening to?
I was thinking more of the ones that you listen to, but it could also go either way.
I know this isn't like a fun answer, but I don't usually build playlists. I'm a little bit of a lazy listener, and I'll like go to an artist that I enjoy and like, do the radio, like go to an artist and hit their artist radio. Or I really enjoy listening to records cover to cover.
Ooh, okay.
Because I feel like there's a ton of intention. I certainly have put a ton of intention into the way that I order a record, or like put the songs in order. So I really enjoy doing that. But I think more along the lines of perhaps the goal of this question, set list wise, we start with 2 really high energy songs to get people in, something with like a really, really strong hook or something that is surprising.
I gotcha.
And then we move into something that requires a little bit of an introduction, because I don't talk at first when we go out.
Sure.
So then we'll say hello, and then we'll like introduce the next song, cover song towards the end, and then we end with 2 really big songs as well to like leave folks on a high.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite thing that you own?
Oh no.
Mine is stupid, so there's no wrong answer here.
I think I'm gonna say my guitar for right now. I'm just trying to think about the things that I would save in a fire.
No, that's a great way to think about it.
So I definitely grab my guitar. I would have said my mom's classical guitar that I've written like 90% of my songs on, but she asked for it back.
The audacity.
It's like a whole thing. We don't need to get into the complexities of parental relationships right now, but yeah, it's going to be a pretty big loss for me, and I will be grieving for a while.
Perhaps you could try shared custody of the guitar.
I think that I'm going to be the bigger person and surrender and try to create my own new experience, write a new chapter with songwriting.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. Oh, parents.
Okay, this is an intense debate amongst my listeners.
Yep.
But which M&M character do you think is the sexiest? Like, which color M&M?
So, man, I think that the bigger question is, why have we sexualized
That's a
candy?
great point.
It's like a little funny, right? Like,
the fan art is
absurd.
I
don't even want to know. Oh my god. So I'm gonna answer your question with that question.
Fair. That's a super valid answer.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. So I started this thing where I'm having I had the guest that I just had on ask a question for you without knowing who it was going to be.
Okay.
And so I'm going to ask you what they wanted me to ask, and then I'm going to see if you have a question to ask my next guest without knowing who it is.
Great.
So I'm going to try and connect artist with artist. So
Great.
My last guest, his name's Jermaine Butler.
Cool.
Super cool, from Louisiana. He asked, what is a seminal album that changed how you view music? So not your favorite album, but like which one gave you an epiphany of like, wow, this is cool?
I remember it distinctly. My best friend and I snuck out to go see the Dandy Warhols at the Crystal Ballroom. Probably would have been 2004 or 5. And we drove down to downtown Portland, and it was sold out. So we went across the street to this music store called Everyday Music, and I had my parents' old like Sony like stereo system from like the late 80s or something, and it had a turntable on top of it. So I had started to like collect records just at thrift shops or something. This was like the first new record I think that I purchased, and it was the Interpol Antics remix record, and so it was a 4 LP record in this like white gatefold jacket, and so on one side it would have the original track, I think. I might be misremembering this. And then on the other side it would have the remix.
Okay.
And so there was a Carlos D remix of Public Pervert. And one of the lyrics in that song is, so swoon baby starry nights, may our bodies remain. You move with me, I'll treat you right, may our bodies remain. Which I later stenciled on the walls of my bedroom.
That's so cool.
But when we snuck back in, of course, my parents were sleeping, and so I had these monitoring headphones, and so I plugged them in, and I put these headphones on, and I put this record on, and I heard the song, and I wept. I cried. It moved me so much. I cried, and to understand that capacity to feel with music, to connect and to be overcome by it was so eye-opening. And also, I don't know, kind of reinforced my own passion, you know, like, oh yeah, I need to be here. This is what I need to be doing. I totally
know what you mean. Yeah. That's super cool. And so what's a question that you would have for me to ask my next guest?
Okay, I feel like one, I'm spiraling about the M&M question because I don't want you to think that I'm not fun. So I don't know why I don't want you to think that I'm not fun. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. That's probably, you can probably analyze this.
I am the same way. I totally get it.
For the next guest that you have, I want you to ask them to make a high-pitched noise and just see how they...
Just any high-pitched noise?
Yeah, just be like, okay, make a high-pitched noise.
Okay.
And just see what they do.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
Because that's whatever comes to mind. That's really funny.
And then you get it on the recording, and because you get, you know, I just think it'll be fun, and hopefully they'll be a good sport and make a high-pitched noise. So.
I have a good feeling. Okay, and then lastly, this is going to drop after South by Southwest, but this is your chance. Plug your socials. What's the rest of your tour look like? Any new music? Where could people find you?
Yeah, so social media, Instagram is like the main platform that I use, jgraves.xyz. The jgraves.xyz is like a handle across all platforms though, so if you look that up,
nice. Okay.
jgraves.xyz is actually also our website, so if you type that into the URL bar at the top of your Internet Explorer, you'll be able to find it, or not Internet Explorer. Web browser, that's what I meant.
It could be Internet Explorer.
Nobody should be using Internet Explorer.
It could be, but it shouldn't.
Yeah, don't do it. And then the rest of the tour, we are in South by for the next week, of course, and then we head to New Orleans, up to Arkansas. We head to St. Louis, and then make our way back to the West Coast. All of our shows are listed on our website, jgraves.xyz/live. We also post the schedule on our Instagram. It's pinned at the top of the grid. And then new music, we will be releasing new tracks in 2025. The next one is slated for April. I don't know that we're going to make that deadline, but we're going to try.
It's the trying that matters.
Yeah, and really the goal is to get a record out by late October. But there's a lot of work to do when you're on the road.
I get that. Yeah.
And we will be out on the road again in May. We're routing to the East Coast.
Not a ton of time.
Not a ton of time, no. So lots of work to do. But we still hope we will have at least two more singles out this year, if not a whole record. So
amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Well, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
We're going to go get ready for your showcase now. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
That's all for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to go follow Jessa and Aaron on their socials and go see them on tour. They're so much fun. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with a friend. And if you're new here, stick around. I've got a new interview with another queer artist coming up in 2 weeks, and I can't wait to share it with you.